In this video, I am going to be discussing SQL and how it works with Power BI. I'm going to be talking about SQL and how it works with Power BI. Here's the deal. I oftentimes say that Power BI is not a no-code program. It's not a no-code app. I oftentimes say that it's a low-code app. Here's the deal. There is very little coding when it comes to Power BI. I've shown you the DAX measures and DAX calculations in previous videos. In this video, I'm going behind the scenes. I'm going behind the scenes so that you can see why the students that come out of Power of the BI, my online course, Power of the BI, shameless plug, why my students that come out of Power of the BI are so good at what they do. It's not just because they know Power BI. It's not just because they know how to create measures and calculations using DAX. It's because they have the basics, the fundamentals of writing SQL queries. That's right, they got the basis of writing SQL queries. This is the first time I've discussed this in Power of the BI with any of my videos, but here's the deal. Today, we are gonna go behind the scenes and we're gonna show you how we teach our students SQL. Now, here's the deal. I don't consider myself to be a SQL expert, but I do feel that I use the best online program to use, the best online program to teach my students SQL. Now, here's the deal. I don't get paid. I don't get paid for endorsing. I don't get paid for endorsing the program. The deal is, I want my students to be the best because I'm the best, and I want them to know even better, to be even better than I am. Therefore, I go after the best programs, the best applications that I can to bring into the program to teach my students to be the best Power BI developers that they can be. With that said, let's jump right over into the video. In this lesson, we are, first of all, welcome back to the Power of the BI. In this lesson, we are going to be discussing SQL, the actual coding of SQL. Some of you guys are probably like, I didn't sign up for coding, didn't know I signed up for coding. So here's the deal. This is a low-code bootcamp. This is low code. Power BI is low code, but there is code. So the one thing I don't want you to do is get tricked up and feel like you can get into this thing and be successful with no coding. You can be successful with no coding, but you do at minimum need to know some of the basics of coding. And there's two different coding languages that we use in Power BI. One is SQL or SQL, as I said before, SQL or SQL, depending on how you want to call it. And the other one is DAX. DAX is the coding specifically for Power BI, right? SQL is used in SQL databases, right? Or bottom line is, yeah. So you're using SQL. SQL is used throughout business intelligence, where DAX is used primarily only in Power BI. So it's important to understand SQL. It's important to understand the nuances of SQL. DAX is really built on a very similar structure as SQL. So the more familiar you are with SQL, the better you're going to be in DAX. If you don't know SQL and you learn DAX, once you start playing around in SQL, you'll find that it's I can't say easy, but it's relatively easy to understand what the code is. But good part about it is SQL is a very easy coding language. I mean, I've played with some Java before. I played with some Python now. SQL is definitely an easier language. It's probably I'm gonna say easy because I'm not a computer scientist, but it's a relatively easy language to learn. DAX is a relatively easy language to learn, definitely if you already understand SQL and the formatting of the SQL code. So that's why I feel that it's very important to really get the basics of SQL. So now, with that said, we downloaded SQL Server, and in SQL Server, as I have open here, I clicked SQL Server Studio 20, I think, and if I expand databases. I see that the database that I have or we have already installed is at VentureWorks 2022, and here are all the tables. Now, if you haven't done anything in coding before, you have no idea of what these tables actually mean, and that's okay. It's totally okay. But if you just to show you what SQL is, what it does, the very basic of SQL is select star from. Select star means all star means all. So we're going to select all from a table. And the table we're going to use that we're going to select from is, let's just say, no, I don't want to use person address. I want to use person.person, right? You'll get understanding the formatting of that later, but I'm going to highlight the whole thing. I'm going to execute it. And now I selected from a table. I selected everything that's in the table. Select all means everything. Select everything that's in the table. So basically what I want to do is select means we want to see, the star means everything from a specific table. And the table that we used was person.person. And basically it returns everything. It returns the table person.person so that we can see everything that's in here. This, for the most part, is why we need SQL Server Management Studio, so that we can run SQL coding, so we can query the different tables. Now you're saying, Terai, I don't understand what the query is. I don't understand. I don't know coding. Boom, 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 boom. That's okay. That is totally okay, because what you also have as a part of this course is vertibello.com. Vertibello.com. You should have received an email already. If you haven't received an email, go into the Facebook group and let us know that you have not received your email and your username and your password for vertibello.com. And it's actually academy.vertibello.com. It's right up here, academy.vertibello.com. This comes along with being a member in this course, or being a student in this course. So what this is going to allow you to do, I'm not going to be able to use this one because this is not my account. It's just showing you what's going on. Let's see. It's not my account. Here's my account. So my account is slightly different from yours because your account is the basic course. My account is a SQL practice set. So, but it does the same thing. So if I go to once I come to academy.vertibello.com and I go to start this course, basically what I just did over here in SQL Server Management Studio, you are going to be able to practice writing code over here in academy.vertibello.com. And as you can see, the instructions will tell you exactly what to do, right? It's going to tell you, select everything from this database. And of course, again, it's select everything from this table. And it's going to be select star from, but it's going to tell you, it's going to walk you through it. Reading is going to be fundamental when it comes to here. I wouldn't necessarily look at what I've got over here because this is a little bit more advanced than the basic. But you're going to get a database, and basically the database that we're using in SQL Server Management Studio is VentureWorks 2022. Well, the database is just a list of tables that are inside the database, and inside those tables you've got columns that's associated with those columns. Now, over in Vertibello, it's the same thing, but you have a database. You're able to see what the database is. I haven't started here, so you're not able to, well, I haven't started within this section. I don't think, or I reset it, not sure. But you'll be able to select the database, and then you will be able to see your columns as well, right? And basically this is just a very beginner step on what you're going to be using. It's going to be a very beginner step for you to learn SQL. So by the time you finish this, you're going to have a super basic understanding of SQL. Now, There's also a discussion that will be going on in each one of your sections. So you will be able to click discuss, and you will see some of the conversations that are going on with other guys that are participating in the same group that you're in, and you'll be able to go through and you'll see some of the mistakes or some of the questions that the individuals in the course will have here at academy.vertibello.com. And you can ask questions as well, and you'll be getting answers back. But if you go through the discussions, you will probably find some of the answers that you're asking, that you're probably asking, because academy.vertibello.com is not brand new, and many of the questions are repeat questions, and probably there's no question that's new that's within this course at this point. Now, again, my course is a little bit different. Mine is a little bit more advanced than yours. I have 88 courses in here in mine. Yours will only have 41 courses. You will have 41 courses. If I could just go in and say start free. So there'll be 41 exercises, not 41 courses, but 41 exercises, not 41 courses, 41 exercises that you will have to get you up to speed with SQL. If you complete 3 exercises per week with 1 or 2 additional in there somewhere in a few of those weeks, it won't take you long to complete these exercises. If I had to put a time limit on it, because I know you're probably thinking, well, how long is it going to take me to do an exercise? If I had to put a time limit on it, I would say anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes. If you just get in there and knock it out, you probably get it done in 20 minutes. If it takes you a little bit longer, it could take you 40 minutes. But I don't think it should take you more than 40 minutes per exercise. Even though these exercises are going to be outlined in our homework topics in our modules, you can actually do these exercises at will, because you have the link, which is academy.vertibello.com, and you have your username and your password. So you can go in and you can complete your exercises at will. Now, everyone has a different, each student, each class member has a different username and password. So no one will be logging in as you and completing your exercise. You have your own username, your own password. This is your own account, as long as you are a member or student here at Power of the BI. Now, for this, for access to Vertibello is not for as long as you are participating in Power of the BI. You have 16 weeks to complete these 41 exercises. Then I would have to talk to your sidebar to let you know how you can maintain your course. But you've got 16 weeks, and it shouldn't take you 16 weeks. You should be able to finish this. Like I say, it's only 41 exercises, and doing 3 exercises per week with 1 or 2 extra exercises in maybe 2 or 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. You should be able to finish within 12 weeks. So it shouldn't take you 16 weeks to complete this. You actually can complete these relatively quick if you do 6 exercises. If you just double it, just do the math. If you double it, you should be able to finish it within 6 weeks. Now, for those of you guys who do finish within 6 weeks, I am going to throw in something extra for you, and that something extra is an additional practice set, which is the practice set that I work on from time to time, which is a little bit more advanced than the SQL basics, and it enhances upon what you were learning here in the SQL basics. So if you finish in 6 weeks, I throw this in. If you finish in 7 weeks, I don't throw this in. Okay. And what this means is, if you finish in 6 weeks and you work on a SQL practice set, you're going to be even better than what anticipated, because those reps is really what's going to dictate how good you are. And trust me, the better you are in SQL, the better you're going to be in DAX, the better you're probably going to be in creating Power BI reports. You don't have to complete the SQL practice set. The SQL basics you do was very much suggested. So with that said, that is it when it comes to SQL Server, when it comes to SQL. If you have any questions, again, please go to the Facebook group and interact there. Leave messages, comments, and help out others that may have questions that you may already have answers to. But if you have a question that you don't see as being answered, please go to the Facebook group. And I look forward to seeing how this works out for you. This should be fun. So again, this is the end of our SQL lesson. And if you have any questions, please go to the Facebook group. Outside of that, I look forward to seeing you in the next class.